And now it's time for Coach's Comments, presented by Southside Auto Tech. Cristiano Simonetta with you, alongside Stars head coach and GM Cody Chupp. Cody, your team loses 6-3 to the Sioux City Musketeers. You're up 3-1 at the 14:06 mark of the first period, and then 3 goals in 2 minutes and 24 seconds from Sioux City. What did you see in that collection of sequences, and how do you think your team responded after the first period?
I thought we could have done a better job on our tracking back into our own zone, just with an awareness of picking up those bodies, and that was a key component of our pre-scout, is talking about how they're going to come with numbers 4, maybe 5 on the rush every single time. We have to come back into the zone, and it's not just about working, but it's working with an awareness. And with that being said, Moose needs to have those, and he'll be the first one to tell you. So this isn't me ripping on Moose. He needs to be better in that situation, and he agrees with me. Now, after that point, we got to find a way as a group, and to get to essentially the end of the game where we start thinking about pulling our goalie without finding a way to get one into the back of the net. You know, it's a credit to them, but also we need to do a better job. And I thought more so in that second period. 7 shots, we create, I think we hit a post, we create some chances for ourselves, but 7 shots. Of those 7, he probably saw at least 6 of them clearly, and we have to work to that net front. We have to be hard at the net front and refuse to be denied the ability to take his eyes away, which creates some havoc and second chance opportunities for us.
In a 4-3 game, Josh Kroll fought Gabe Blanchard, but it was deemed a double minor for roughing. And then Dominic James with a fight. You had an undisciplined penalty from Brad Morrissey. What do you want to see from your team in that situation where you're down a goal, there's so much time left on the clock, knowing that if you stay 5-on-5, you possibly draw a penalty? Your power play has been great over the last 2 weekends. I believe 4 goals out of your last 13 opportunities. So the power play has been there. The even strength game, you had to find a way, but it seemed like a couple moments in the third period where you lost your cool against the Musketeers.
Yeah, no question, and I can tell you this. If you've never been punched in the face or cross-checked in the face, you can only take so much of that before you've had enough. And the refs did a very poor job of protecting players tonight, and I thought Grohl and Dom both were forced to fight.
Yep.
Because you get to a certain point, and I mean, eventually you say, okay, well, the ref's not going to protect me here. I need to do something to protect myself. And, it was a very selective officiating crew tonight, where I think when sticks go parallel and get into hands in scoring areas, those should be penalties. Calling ticky-tacky stuff through the neutral zone, I understand we're not at the NHL standard, which is good. But when it's a scoring chance and that guy's denied with a stick through his hands or on his hands, you have to call those. Otherwise, we're taking our game back another 15 years and anything goes. But I'm not here to complain about the refs. Like I said, we could talk for a couple hours about that. For me, I think there's some selfishness in our locker room right now, and that's not – and I'm not talking about the penalties in the course of this game. I'm not talking about guys in this game. I think there is some selfishness in our locker room, and we need to do a better job of eradicating that. We're getting close to decision time here as the trade deadline comes up, and I've said since day one I like this group, and I think we have a chance to do something special. You have a choice to make, and it goes for everybody in that locker room, staff included. You're either all in or you're out. There's no in between. There's no gray area here, and we need everyone to be all in, and a lot of that is holding each other accountable and making sure that we're making good decisions on a daily basis. If you don't believe in hockey gods, you should, or whatever you want to call it. And we learned our lesson that it's real, and how you conduct yourself on a daily basis and the decisions you make. They either say I'm selfish or they say I'm into something bigger than myself. And we have the ability. We need to be all in for something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah, how frustrating has this been for you in this season filled with inconsistency? Because at points, this seems like a team that can beat anybody in the league, and it still appears to be after you dismantled Team USA last week. And the first period of tonight's game, you're up 3-1, 14 minutes in. So throughout this entire season, can you take a step back and kind of describe how tough it's been to get a buy-in? Because you're not the first coach to say this in any hockey league, and you won't be the last.
Yeah, I mean, there's been frustrations, and ultimately, when you take a step back from it, that's why these guys are here. It is to learn that and to learn the consistency in that. And again, I want to reiterate, I love this group. Now, are they 16 to 20-year-old kids? Yes. And do they make 16 to 20-year-old decisions at times? Yes. But that's where the accountability and that support group that's around them all the time, when essentially nobody's watching, the staff isn't around, and there's not structured workout or practice or regimen, we need to do a better job of holding each other accountable in those situations. And is that part of it frustrating? Yeah, it is, because you want it so bad for the guys. And I'm an adult. I've been through it. I've had ups and downs. I've made good decisions and bad decisions. When you see the potential in this group, you want it so badly for them. It's about finding ways to convince them of what they're capable of, and not to sell themselves short by one decision that they're making on a Monday or a Tuesday that's affecting them on Friday or Saturday. So is it frustrating? Yeah, I think it is frustrating. I think it's frustrating for guys in that locker room. But ultimately, it's a different kind of frustrating. Last year was frustrating. This year it's frustrating because you want them to succeed so bad, because you know what they're capable of, and you want them to realize what they're capable of on a daily basis.
One last question for you, Cody. Another bright spot for you tonight. The penalty kill, 5 for 5 tonight. In the last 2 games and the last 3 games combined, you're 10 for your last 11 penalty kill efficiency. What have you seen in the adjustments from this group? Because they're more aggressive, they're structured, they stay together in that box, and not a lot of second chance opportunities from Sioux City tonight.
Yeah, I think the big component of that is finding some confidence, and the second component is we've started to find where we're at our best with this group, and we tried a few different things early on, and we've kind of settled into something that we feel like is working for us, and I think the numbers show that right now. And for us, it's like I've said all along, special teams can be a bit of a roller coaster ride, and right now we're getting the block that we need. We're doing a good job clearing those sticks. One area of our penalty kill that's taken a big step is our community clears when we get that surround, and bumping out of pressure, using your teammates rather than forcing one guy to try to do it all by himself. I thought we saw one time tonight where we tried to wrap the puck, and those pucks just don't get out in our league and any level beyond our league. So we have to find ways to make little small plays with support, communicate that support so we get a free stick to send it down the ice, and then we skate well, we stay on pressure, and that pressure up the ice is a key component of our penalty kill right now.